Oh God, I don't want to do this, bro. It finally happened that something actually is broken. If you look here, that is hydraulic fluid that has been leaking out of this rear shock for about the past 80-ish miles. I noticed this shock was leaking and didn't really know what to do about it. And I've been riding on it broken, which is fine, but long-term, not fine. I've had no choice really because this is my main vehicle to get to work. And it took a few weeks to gather the materials, the new shocks, a couple of extra new tools that I needed to, in order to do this job right now. I think it will be pretty interesting, even though there's gonna be minimal riding in this video, because we're not only replacing the old shock, but I'm gonna upgrade both shocks, the front and the back, to bigger, fatter, better KKE shocks. And as much of a pain in the ass as this is going to be, I know it will be worth it. These shocks should last way longer than these stock shocks that come on the RS. Let's get started now before the rain comes and I can get this done with as fast as possible. All right, so right here I have all the tools that I believe will be necessary to do this job. Starting off with the number one thing is this bike bushing remover tool. It's specific to getting the bushings, these little guys on either side of the rear and the top of the shock, getting those out of the shock. And alongside that, I got some calipers because the bushings need to be measured precisely. And other things are all the stuff that I used for the suspension raise and will be mentioned as we go along in this project. So here we fucking go. All right, so first thing to do is remove this rear mud flap. For the rear shock, after you get the mud flap off, you don't have to take both sides. I'm just gonna do the interior mud flap. This can stay on. The housing for the rear reverse brake light, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Those have to come out so we can access the bolt that holds the top of this shock in. All right, so all the bolts are out, and then this cover is coming off. And this is why we did that, because now we have access to these top bolts on both sides. Otherwise, the light would have covered them like this. So we're going to be taking off this, and then we're going to be taking off this guy right up in there. I can't really see him, but he's in there. So the next thing that we're going to do is loosen the swing arm, because that will give us a little bit more easeability with putting the shock back in and just adjusting it where it will sit in the scooter. Oh, there we go. Okay. But as you can see here, I just wanted to loosen it. So there's a little gap right there, and then there's a little gap right here. So this just loosens up everything and makes the whole job a bit easier. This is what I forgot to do on the first side of the scooter when I did the suspension raise, and it made it so much fucking harder. The next thing we're gonna do is take out this bolt. We're gonna do the bottom first, let the wheel drop, and then take the top off. There's the bolt. Oh, there it goes. It went flying for a sec, but this is the pin. Bolt goes right in there. There we go. And hopefully it's also, oof. How does that work? You know what? I might have to take off this plate right here. Shit. And that means taking off this really sticky, very on there padding. There are indeed 4 screws that I will have to take off. We're gonna use this heat gun here to heat everything up a little bit, because this is surfboard matting and it is not coming off easy at all. Oh, it smells terrible. It smells like burning plastic. I know I have a scraper around here somewhere. Well, this is an unforeseen addition to the job I was not expecting. It's kind of hard to see, but it's like a push and then peel. And then push a bit more and then peel. And don't stab yourself with the razor either. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. All ready to go. Wow, okay. And look at all this room we have to work with now. This is actually going to be really nice to work this way. So now it's time to take off this last bolt. Finally. Bolt, and then the pin will come out, and voila, we have the shock out. Wow, that thing is gnarly and gross. Just for a size reference, this is the shock I've been working with that comes on the RS stock. This is the shock that I'll be putting on the RS on both sides. You can see it's got like an entirely another round of coils. It's much larger and it has 13 settings for rebound. This one's way more adjustable, it's way better, way more heavy duty. I can't wait to have this on here. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is not a how-to video, and I apologize for that because I wish there was a method to this madness. Getting that top insert out. This is not an insert. This is a little piece I got from the hardware store that's the same size, which helps push out the insert. Basically, this is the stock removal tool that you can get off Amazon. I will put a link for this down below. Usually, the shock goes right here, and this guy, as you twist, it pushes through the eyelet and it pushes out the insert. However, I would highly suggest going to the hardware store and buying one of these. It's a steel, basically a replica of the insert that was already in the shock. But it's the same exact size, you can see that, as the part on the removal tool that pushes out. So basically, the problem I was running into is that when you're using the removal tool and this part is pushing out the insert, then once the insert pops out, this part gets stuck in the eyelet. And then I'm left trying to figure out how to get this out, how to get the tool out of the shock. And it's just been this back and forth that's been a kind of a fucking nightmare. So what the point of this is, so you buy this, it's like $1.39, and you put it on the removal tool in front of the part that pushes. So when you go to push out the shock, this gets stuck in here, and it gets wasted, but it's whatever. Or you could cut the shock open and get it out. But at least the insert that you need, and by insert I mean this is what came in the shock. This was sitting in there like that. This comes out, and that's all you have to do. So if you go to the hardware store, you go to the bolts and screw section, that's where I found this. It says insert. It's a steel insert. I don't know the size, but if you bring this removal tool that I'll link on Amazon to the hardware store with you, they should be exactly the same width. So it's perfect for pushing this out. This is the one I used for this top one. You can see this is an insert. It's stuck in there. I don't give a shit. I'm going to throw this shock out because it's busted, and this is going to go in the garbage with it. However, on the long insert on the other side of the shock, the inserts don't really work because the screw is not long enough to actually even screw on. It basically bottoms out. And when the screw bottoms out, you can see the tip of the insert right here. This gets to about halfway through the eyelet, and then you can't get it anymore. And I tried putting something in there and hammering it,
If you have a vise and a workbench that's like bolted to the floor and you want to really hammer this thing out with a metal rod or something, that would probably work. This tool is too small for this section of the shock to get the insert out. When you go to do this, I guarantee you're going to get the tool or something stuck. Like, I just went to get the bushing for this side off of this side, and when I did that, the pusher part of the removal tool got stuck in the bushing, and then this just a whole another 5 minutes of me trying to get that out. So I'm sure someone who is more accustomed to this could do this better and faster than me, but anyone who hasn't done this, I guarantee you'll probably run into the same issues. So that's why we're just going to angle grind this motherfucker and call it a fucking day.
We are going caveman style and using brute force, and I have a lot of experience with an angle grinder, so I feel comfortable with this. Do absolutely not resort to an angle grinder if you are not experienced with it. So, this is not a tutorial, so I'm just showing you what I'm doing, guys. So, we're gonna fucking grind this shit off and call it a fucking day, because I just need to get this done. Eye protection, absolutely necessary. Gloves, hand protection, absolutely. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna make one little cut on one side and then one little cut on another side. Hopefully the first cut will be enough, but it also might not be, so. I'm also standing out of the way of the kickback. My body is back here and this is up front, so in case anything shoots off, including the angle grinder, should be able to just let go. I'm also going very slowly so as to not nick the thing we're trying to get out, the insert. That cut is just about there. Really trying hard to not cut into the insert. Just a couple more taps and that should be through, and then I'm hoping that it will be weakened enough to just have loosened the insert. I can pull it out. I don't really want to have to make a second cut, but I will if I have to. All right, let's see. Yeah, buddy. We did it. All right. So this is working. This is absolutely fucking working. All right, let's see if we can get this a little bit more in a shot. So basically all I did was cut right up to, I didn't cut all the way through because I figured just loosening the tension on this piece, ooh, it's kind of warm, would be enough. You definitely do have to cut it down pretty far for it to expand enough, but yeah, that absolutely did the fucking job, bro. We have the top spacer right here, this metal part. And on either side are the bushings. The bushings need to go down significantly. Then for the bottom, we have the other two bushings. These also have to be sanded down significantly. And I have the instructions from my buddy Nate here, who is the mastermind behind this whole thing. So here we have our handy dandy caliper. We are zeroed out. The top bushings are 4.9. Well, loosely they are 5.0. Also loosely they are 4.9. We have to get them down to 4.2. He said you can do this with a Dremel or a sander or whatever, but because it's such a small amount, it's not even a millimeter, I'm just going to use sandpaper. And I used to do this when I made jewelry all the time. Flat sanding is when you take, like if this was a ring, like a gold ring, and you want to shave it down a little bit at a time, you do figure 8 pattern on a very flat surface. Garage floor is not amazing, but it's better than any workbench that I don't have and any kitchen counter that I do have. So basically we're just going to start, and you want to go in a figure 8 pattern because this gets all sides of the circle of the bushing equally. If you just go like this or like this, you might wear one side down more than the other. So going in a figure 8 pattern is a jeweler's pro tip. 4.7. All right, so we took off 2.2 millimeters, so it's working. So we'll keep doing this for a bit. 4.2. 4.2. The reason we're doing this is to be able to fit the top and the bottom of both of these into their respective parts on the frame of the scooter. So example, for the top, put the spacer in. Let me put one bushing on one side and one bushing on the other side. It should slide right up into there. It slides right up in there perfectly. It's perfect fit. See, it even sticks. All right, so that is done, and you can see that it's flush with the insert too. The bushings are flush. Otherwise, the bushings would have stuck out, and they would not have fit. So this is fantastic. That is one thing done. At least we're getting something fucking right. Now, what did Nate say? Nate said that these guys need to be ground down to 16 millimeters wide. So right now these are at 16.4, and they each need to go down 0.4 millimeters. So that's actually not that bad. It's less than the top. I actually thought we'd have to do more for these. Oh shit. All right, well, it's starting to rain. We did not beat the rain, but let's just see if we can do this real quick. All right, this should be it. All right, 16, 15.9, 16. I'll take it. Bushings are done. It is raining. I'm going to be done for the now because I can't do anything else with this project. All right, so we have the shock that's going on. We have the metal insert for the top and the two bushings that we filed down. Then we also have the bottom insert, which we finally got out, which goes right in here. And then the two other bushings that go on the sides of this guy. We fucking did it, y'all. We actually fucking did it. Look at that. Look at that. All right, that feels fucking awesome. I'm so stoked. Worst comes to worst, I'm gonna check the time after I get this everything put back together. And worst comes to worst, I'll at least be able to ride my scooter to work today, because I'll just use this on the rear and the old shock on the front. Here's the thing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 notches on this scooter. The highest notch up here is where I've had it, which is the highest suspension level for the scooter. However, I was informed that because this shock is so much bigger, it won't fit in this top one. So it's gonna have to go in the third level. But at the third level, this shock will make the scooter higher than when it was at the top highest level with the smaller old shock. We're gonna go with what we've been riding with because I just really love that a lot. And I think it's gonna be worth it to do it the right way. So first things first, make sure that this is pointing out. You don't want to install the shock backwards. That would just not be nice. So the rebound adjustment is going to be backwards, but first this needs to go up in here. And we're gonna put this back in. Slide this bolt back in. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna do these real nice and tight. Still enough play to, right, there's no wiggle either. There's no wiggle going side to side, so that's excellent. All right, so we're just gonna do some small taps, not to disturb anything. Everything is lined up perfectly right now. This is lined up perfectly through the second setting. The scooter's not moving or tilting. We're doing good, y'all. We're doing good. There we go. Hell fucking yeah, bro. Hell yeah. My scooter is rideable to work today. I do not have to take a fucking Uber because that fucking sucks. It's so expensive. Okay. All right. Fuck yeah, dude. She's on there. Hell yeah. I'm stoked. All right, let's put this bitch back together. What I want to just look at real quick is, I'm curious if the front is lower or higher than the rear now. It actually looks exactly the same height as it was before. I'll give you guys a bit of a better view. But tell me if that does not look like it's about the exact fucking same. Which is crazy because that rear tire is on the second level. And that one's on the fourth. That looks just about the exact fucking same. I really, really love the black on black look of this new shock back there. So much better than this red, honestly. I'm not a big fan of the red. Okay. Feels solid. Oh man, I haven't ridden this thing in like over a week, dude. This feels great. I haven't adjusted the rebound either, so I'm not... Man, the front feels significantly different than the back. It feels so squishy in the back. This is so nice, dude. I can do a decision right now. Front's gonna wait till tomorrow because this is not worth getting into it and being rushed and fucking something up, or possibly even not being able to ride this to work. I want to be able to ride this and not take an Uber today. So we did a good job. It's drivable. And I will see you tomorrow when we do the front. All right. It's a little chilly out, but we're gonna make it work. One thing we got to do is weigh down the back because the scooter is very front heavy. I'm actually looking at this right now, and I think my front shock is also busted. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like some drip marks right here on the frame. It looks like inside under the coil that there's like some dripping and stuff going on, but it's not wet. It's not like the back one, but there's a little bit. I don't know, but I had no idea. I checked it a few weeks ago and it seemed fine. But I guess it's a good thing we're doing this because clearly these shocks suck. Fender off. Guys, just come off with some pliers. 1, 2. All right, so here's the easy insert to get out, the shorter one. If only the bottom one was as easy to come out as this guy, but it's not. It's the little teeny insert inside of there that's holding this in right now. All right, so we're all set up with all of our pieces out of the old shocks, ready to be added to the new shocks. And the next step is to sand these puppies down. Still 4.1, so close. 4.0, lovely. Big ones need to be ground down to 16 again. There it goes in like that. Then we just pop. Oh, you can't even see anything. Ha. All right, sorry. Welcome back. So we have the insert
from the old shock fits perfectly in there. You put this bushing on right here. The rest of the bushing, look at that, it is just perfectly flush on there. And voila, we are ready to install. First, we're gonna I forgot, we're gonna put the put this back in here. Put the top part in. There we go. There we go, bro. Motherfucking yes. Get this nice and really tight. Okay, that is really on there. Fuck yeah. Really quick before I finish up, I just want to give a couple of shout outs to two homies who were incredibly helpful on this project, Brandon and Nate. You guys are the goats. I really, really appreciate all of your tips. Nate for your write-up on how to do the whole thing and for selling me the shocks. I really appreciate that. Brandon for convincing me that they were worth it and for giving me tips on how to just go about a couple extra steps, do this whole thing a bit easier. Thank you. And I'm really excited to get this thing off the bench and give it a little test ride right now. Let's go see. So it's time to head to work, which means we get to test out on a full ride the new KKE shocks. Looking at it again, like a couple hours later too, I do think that the scooter is a tad lower than it was. I think it's in between the third and the fourth for height if you'd have the stock shocks on. Oh man, and today's like probably one of the last really nice days for the year. It's like 64, 63 out right now. Not very sunny, but it's just enough that it's like really, really nice to be outside. So we're just gonna enjoy this ride, dude. We're just gonna enjoy the cruise. The new soft suspension feels so nice. It's a perfect day for a cruise. It definitely feels different. It definitely feels like significantly different. I think a bit of that is because of the height difference. There's probably about it's probably about an inch, almost an inch lower the scooter than I'm used to. So right now, like I physically feel like my feet are closer to the ground, and I'm just not really used to that. I also have the rebound set to relatively soft. It's not very firm, and I'm used to a much more firm ride. All right, we're gonna get over into the left lane. So we're going up here. Oh, it is a beautiful November day out, guys. I don't think I've done a video for y'all with me cruising like this in a couple of videos, actually. So enjoy the cruise while we're here. We'll see how much I get out during the wintertime here in Illinois. It's kind of hard to know. Last winter was not very snowy, but it was cold. And then it was warm. And then it was like negative 15 degrees for like a week. So we'll see. I'm not really sure what my plan is in terms of riding, but if it's a nice day in the middle of the winter, fuck yeah, I'm taking this thing out. We're coming up on some more bumpy road up here, so this will be nice to test the scoot out on. I know this upcoming stretch of road is just generally not as nice as the rest of town. That was a homie of mine from a local ride group. These bumpy roads right here, oof. It's still a scooter suspension, I'll tell you that. This is not it's not a rock crawling truck suspension that's on here, but I will tell you right now, the bumps, all these little things right here, they're definitely a little bit deeper than they look on the camera.
wanted to come down through campus because there's a lot of red lights, a lot of people crossing the street, so it's a lot of like stop and go. But that's part of the test because I really want to make sure that the scooter is Gucci, not just at like one consistent speed, but at you know, all the stops, all the goes, short stops, short turns, all that stuff. You know, like town riding. All right, so up here is the road I wanted to get to that has a lot of bumps, a lot of shit going on in it. All right, here we go. Super bumpy. Oh man. Oh my God, that's so much better. That's so much better. Holy shit. Another couple bumps right here. Oof. Man, it's so soft, dude. Bunch of more coming up. They don't look very big to you guys, but to me, they're, you definitely feel them. All right, here we go. A few more. This is all shit that I would usually avoid, but I just want to put this shit to the test right now. Put it to the test now, so I don't have an accident later on when I'm not expecting it. So fuck yeah, dudes. I really, really like this upgrade so far. I'm gonna have to dial them in, like I said, a bit more, but besides that, it is so significantly better, smoother, softer, just more room, more give and take. It's a massive upgrade. I'm very, very happy with this.
And the final update on this pretty massive project that we just got done last week, y'all. It's been a week since I finished the shock upgrade. I put about 100 more miles on this thing. I went for a 20-mile ride with some friends all over town. It did amazingly. I honestly don't know why I didn't do this sooner. It really makes a massive difference to the scooter. It brings the whole RS up a level, and honestly, they really should have put these shocks on for the price that you pay for the scooter in the factory. But at this point, I'm just really happy to have them for myself. Even if I had to do it myself, that's totally fine. And that's really all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys get out. I hope you get to do some cruising. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you in the next video.